Good afternoon. It is June, the middle of the year, and this is my mid-year whip parade. I hope you're all enjoying the weather, whether it's good, bad or ugly. It seems to be a bit of everything here in Dundee. And I didn't think I would need to do a mid-year whip parade because I thought I had 2 whips. Said no cross-stitcher ever. Anyway, I have notes. And I have this little file book where I keep kind of like a front cover of things I'm working on so that I can see at a glance projects that I've got. So I will start with the oldest shameful ones. And when I say old, I mean old. So first of all is from Storybook Favourites Cross Stitch. And this was, let's have a look. Yep, this should have been a sampler for my daughter Emma. And this is, I'll show you the picture first. So this is it, Thomas Tank Engine. She loved Thomas when she was little. Absolutely loved him. And this is where I got to, right way up. So I got 3 out of the 5 engines done. I was going to turn them into a cushion. And yeah, that didn't happen. Emma's now 32. But I am going to finish this one day. I am definitely going to finish this one day and make her a cushion. So, yep, doesn't get any better than that. So the next one in my pile of shame is from more Storybook Cross Stitch. And this one was for my daughter Laura. Yeah, you can see a theme, can't you? And this was a birth sampler. And this is ridiculous. I don't even know what this fabric is. It's stiff, it's see-through, it's all sorts. And I haven't even finished her name, let alone the sampler. Laura is now heading for 37. So I can't even make it for a grandchild because my grandchild's going to be 16. So, you know, maybe there'll be more babies. Maybe, as long as their name ends in "-ra". So next in the pile is, now this is an All Our Yesterdays one. This was very popular way back in the 90s. And shamefully, I don't even have that much left to do. It was just lost in a pile, and when I was sorting them out when I moved house 2 years ago. So I think all I've got left to do is a bit of the fence or barricade or whatever. I did start it way too far up the fabric. But yeah, a couple of hours and I could definitely have that one completed. So that is All Our Yesterdays. Hopefully it will improve from here. Now the next one was a DMC kit called Farmyard Fun. Now this did get a lot of love this year because, as you can see, it's got this awful gingham border. I mean, it's a lovely gingham border, but to stitch, it's awful. And I think I only had a bit of the top and a bit of the side done. I thought I'm never going to finish this project while I've got this gingham outstanding. So I did take quite a few hours at the start of the year and I finished the gingham. So after being ginghamed to death, I have put it away for a wee while, but I'll definitely come back and get it finished now that that worst bit is out of the way. But that was a real labour of love. You can see that progress in my earlier floss tubes. So that is Farmyard Fun. Now, let's go back a bit further. Now this one's not as old, but there is a bit of a tale to tell. Where did you go? I clicked the wrong button and everything disappeared. So I purchased these a good couple of years ago. I absolutely love playing cards. I don't know why, I just do. I absolutely love them. I bought all the threads, all the beads, you name it. And I was going great guns on it. All the stitching was done. Why can't I find this camera? and I had made a start on the beading. But in December 2022, I think it was, I had an accident. I collapsed when I left work one day and I fell and I injured my right hand. I don't know how close you can get, but I've had surgery on this finger and this finger, and I thought I would never be able to stitch again because the numbness, I still have dexterity issues. But a few weeks after the surgery, I decided stitching would be my saviour. And so I would set myself a task 20 stitches a day, 30 stitches a day, and slowly but surely build up. And it's only just recently on other projects that I've started getting into beading because, you know, I don't have the dexterity. But I'm quite confident now I can get back in and finish the beading and hopefully get the second project finished, because they are absolutely gorgeous and I love them and I really want to get them both finished. So yeah, now that I've got my confidence to bead back, I will definitely get back to this in this lifetime. Next in the Book of Shame is Dream Raven. Now this is one of my designs and I started this back in December last year and absolutely love it, although it did take me about 6 attempts to get this rose. For some reason, I couldn't get the rose. I just frogged and frogged and frogged and frogged. But I carried on, and Dream Raven is now at 60%. And it's having a bit of a sabbatical. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really good. I just have to fill in the feathers and then finish the raven at the top. But I'm loving how this one is coming on. And it's not on a frame at the moment because it's having a wee break. It's having a bit of a break. So that is Dream Raven. Next is Winter Maiden. Again, one of my designs. And I was going great with her for a while. But then you come into summer and you don't want to be stitching snow. But she is 34%. And this fabric I found, I had in my stash, was just absolutely perfect. So when it comes to doing the snowflakes, I think I'll do them in the brightest white I can possibly find so that they really stand out. Yeah, loving how she looks. And she was, did I say what she was? She was 34%. And I started her in September last year. So again, quite a new one. Next one is, let's see what's in the book of Doom. I know Stuart and Stitches has a cupboard of Doom. I just have a book. And it's this little match girl. Now, I absolutely adore this design, but I have recharted it because I didn't want to stitch two houses. It's not a major part of the story. The most important bit is the little match girl and her grandmother. So I don't have much left to do on this actually. Have I got a percentage? Well, it's, yeah, 72% of the new charted one. And I've added some glitz and glamour, and because the grandmother is, oh, there we go, you know, very, very important. And it's just such a beautiful but sad story. So I will get back to that one for Christmas this year. And that was The Little Match Girl by The Little Stitcher. So here we go. Next one is My Sweet Voodoo. Now, this is in no way a nasty or evil voodoo. This voodoo doll represents me and all my aches and pains, my illnesses, accidents, incidents, disasters and drama. It really is me. I've probably got a couple of new pins to add. And I have put in a couple of threads this month, actually. And My Sweet Voodoo is now sitting at 51%. So I just wanted to tip her past the 50%. You can see she's got pins in her feet, pins in her heart. I'm needing to put pins in her hands because obviously the accident. Pins in her shoulder. We need some pins in her head. Yeah, I need to add more pins to my sweet voodoo. But I think I'll probably turn her into a cushion and then I can just add extra pins, safety pins, badges, whatever, as a new incident, accident, drama appears. And now on to my most recent ones. So this is Time Traveller by Joan Elliott. I absolutely love this. And I have been working on this a lot lately. I've taken it to 62%. And just yesterday I've put in the blue flowers. Now they should have been a Krynic, but life is too short for Krynic. So I've actually chosen a variegated blue and I'll just pop that in so there's just wee bits of colour here, there and everywhere. But I love the tones, I love the shading. I can't wait to get the stitching finished because I've got lots of beads to add. I've got little charms to add. Yeah, I'm going to embellish her like crazy. But loving this project. Next, sorry for the squeaky chair. I will get a new one eventually. Next in, oh now this is a very recent start. So these are not in any particular order. I started this month, just 2 weeks ago actually. And this is Elvis by a shop called Dawn's Keepsakes on Etsy. And it is just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. There are 84,000 stitches. I have only stitched, let's see, 4%. So that's only, what, 3,000 stitches. But already you can see the man himself coming to life. I love the shading. I thought it was going to be all monochromatic other than the butterflies, but there's tones of greys and greens and browns, and it's just absolutely stunning. This is my first attempt at stitching on 18 count. Well, technically second attempt, but sticking with this one. So this is Elvis, surrounded by all those beautiful butterflies. And I will, wait till I get the chart back up again. Here you see all this brocade. What are we doing? What's playing? Where is that happening? I've hit a button somewhere. I do apologise. But anyway, getting back to the story. Where you see all this brocade on his jumpsuit, I will try and interweave with some of the DMC Etoile threads so that there's just the very, very slightest hint of glitter. So I look forward to doing that. But this is a project. I put in at least one thread a day because it is the biggest project I've done to date. Next we have, this is Alice. This is a kit by Letty Stitch. Absolute huge fan. I have a big box of their kits. And also, if you go to Letty Stitch and you see any of their charts, if you type in the code SHARONDUNCAN, all capital letters, you'll get 20% off. Now, I do get a little kickback from that. So anything I earn from that, any commission, I do invest back into the channel to cover postage, to cover giveaways. But yeah, 20% is a great, great discount. So I'll leave details in the show notes. But this is Alice, back to the stitching in hand. And she is sitting at, where is she on my list? She is 18%. So I spent some time finishing off her hair and interweaving some of my own hair. But yeah, finishing off her hair, that was a labour of love. And then I've put in little bits of her dress. But yeah, again, loving this project. Real joy to stitch. She's a bit rosy in the face because she has got a little glass of Ribena, Vino Ribena. And that is Alice by Letty Stitch. Next on the list, we have the Scotland's Beasties sampler. Now this is one of my own. Started this back in March. I have big plans for this, and I shall show you where I am. So I'm stitching it on a lovely opalescent fabric, and all are beasties regardless of species. My Scottish friends will understand this, that no matter where, how many legs, whatever it is, it's either a beastie or a big hairy spider. But yeah, they're all beasties. And I have done a little bit of beading, get some beading practice in, a few French knots. And I've also stitched a couple of the butterflies onto perforated, well, it's now perforated PVC, which I quite like better because you can kind of shape it. So these will get added to give a little bit of dimension when needed. So I've got one on the go and one completed. So I will get back to stitching that one. Look forward to having a finish for that. And that was, where was beasties? That was 41%. And that includes those little bits as well. Now next, we have my Bailey boy. Bailey was a working Cocker Spaniel. We had him from 6 weeks up until, I think it's, I thought 2018, but it was 2019 when we lost him. And he was just an absolute character. So I've taken one of his photographs, converted it to a cross stitch, and I'm stitching it on a 14 count kind of oatmeal fabric. So it is a bit gappy, but I do want a big cushion. But kind of halfway through stitching this bit, I thought, it's a bit gappy. So I did restart it. And I started at the outside on an 18 count. And I think there's just as many stitches in this as there is in that current Bailey. I just felt like it was not growing. It was not doing anything. It was not calling out to me. So I've gone back to the original, and you can see him. You can see him. His nose, his eyes, his character shining through. And so back to the 14 count, and he will become a cushion so that I can hug him once again. So that is Bailey. And I'll maybe pop this inside the cushion just as a reminder of what was. Now, only a couple left to go. I don't have many. I know some floss tubers, I absolutely love watching whip parades. They're very, very enabling. And there are a couple out there that have got upwards of 50, 60, even 100 whips. I couldn't imagine. I just don't think I'd be able to cope. I definitely would not be able to cope with that many. I love the process, but I also love the progress. So I love to see things finished, and I love to see them on the wall. And, I love to see my hard work. I don't want it all lying in a box. I want it in a frame. So the next one, I think this is one that's almost at finishes, 82%. And it's 82% because I'm not stitching this border along the bottom, just because I want to get it finished. And I have given this a lot of love in the past few weeks. It's so colourful. There's a lot of back stitch and embellishing to do, but I really look forward to that bit. And it did take me a while to figure out what a lot of these little symbols were, but now I know. I think this, where are we? This one over here. I thought, what is that? But it's bottles of whiskey in a cork. These are sporrans. Obviously, you've got your thistles and your wee Scotty dogs. But yeah, absolutely love this. The colours and the way the light shines on the castle. It's like a sunset, and we've got obviously the little unicorn here, Nessie. And then I've started the clipper boat, or ship. It's not a boat, it's a ship. But yeah, loving working on this. So that is heading for a finish. And I think last but not least is not a whip, but a sal. I don't normally do SALs because I have commitment issues. I would never keep up with them. I think the only one I've done is, where is it behind me? And this was Tempting Tangles Quaker, and that was a SAL, and it was just 6 weeks, and it was just quite a small one, so I did manage to finish that one. But I have joined up to a new one because I couldn't resist this when I saw it, and this is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Now this is part 1, and it's only monthly, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I thought if I do a colour a day, then I'll get there. I'll get there. However, I stitched it all in a day because it was just an absolute joy to stitch. Look at his little face. So the next part is not coming out for another couple of weeks yet. So yeah, I'm thrilled that I've managed to get this done, and I have added some golden threads there to give it a bit of pizzazz. But I'm stitching mainly the called for, but I am trying to use up. I have all my extra flosses here. I've got them all in here, all my bobbin ones, but these are all extra bits and bobs. So I am pulling from here to try and use up some of these excess bits and pieces. So I look forward to that. And I think that is it for my whip parade. That was quite short and sweet, thankfully. I don't have any plans for any new starts. Said no cross stitcher ever this month. Let's just caveat that with this month. There is no plans for any new starts this month. But yeah, I will keep plodding along, and I'll see you on my next floss tube, which should be at the beginning of July. July, my goodness me, where is the year going? Anyway, enjoy the summer, enjoy the football. I'm thrilled at how Scotland, I mean, I don't even follow football, but I just love the Scottishness of it all. I just love the behaviour, every day it's something new. Yesterday I read that they were teaching the Bostonians how to slosh. Yeah, it's just been amazing to see. It really is. It just warms your heart to see such positivity. So anyway, stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, stay happy, keep stitching, and I'll see you all soon.